I played The Witcher 3 on my Switch and I was super impressed that they managed to get this game onto that little console. But I stopped quickly playing it because of the PS5. What the hell is this? I'm trying to do a video. You are this.
Where's Yen?
Yen? Who the hell is... I've spent over 40 hours with The Witcher 3 with that PS5 update, and if you're wondering whether you should try this game on the PS5 or revisit it if you've played it on previous gen, then I'm going to run through a spoiler-free review so you can decide for yourself. Or if you just want to watch the video, you can hang out with me and my friend Geralt. Isn't that right?
This is a small-ass place.
I haven't played any of the previous Witcher games, just in case you were wondering, do I need to play the other games? Yes, you can play this game if you haven't played any of the previous ones. There is a massive tutorial at the start and it gives you a backstory of what's going on. You start in Kaer Morhen, which is the home of Geralt and the Witchers. Witchers are basically monster hunters who essentially travel the lands, defeating monsters for villages and the public for coin. They are technically not human as they undergo violent mutations to enhance their speed, strength and senses. Geralt has brought up Ciri and is like his adopted daughter and he will do anything to protect her. He teaches her the ways of the Witcher, teaching her how to fight, how to think, and helps her become a skilled warrior. The difference with Ciri is that she is very, very special and the Wild Hunt are after her. The books are a little bit different in terms of storyline, so I'm going by the games in case you are referencing the books. Ciri is the child of Elder Blood, which means she has an insane amount of powers which she hasn't fully tapped into yet. She has the ability to control the power of the Elder Blood, for instance, opening portals to other worlds. All we know is that they are beyond supernatural. The Wild Hunt are after her and they are very, very powerful. They want to kidnap her and take her back to the world so they can harness the power of the Elder Blood so that they can then travel to different worlds and continue killing humans or using them as slaves back in their world. With Ciri's power, they'll be able to transport to anywhere into other worlds and also in large amounts. Your love interest, Yennefer, who is a sorcerer, has been missing as well, and Ciri has been missing for years. It's up to us to level up, build our weapons and our skill tree and look for them both. There are 3 possible endings to this story, but what else is amazing throughout the whole game is that there is so much choice in how you want to act on different conversations and will actually result in different outcomes, which has consequences to the story and the characters. You hear that, Valhalla? I played this game a few years ago on my Nintendo Switch and I started playing it and it just didn't feel right. I couldn't carry on playing the game. It felt like there was too much going on for the Switch. I used to love playing my PS3, but oh my gosh, those loading times on the Switch. On the PS5, as soon as I booted up the game, I was so impressed with just how beautiful the game looks. In certain areas, I would literally just stop and admire the views. You're not going to boot up the game and think this is a next generation PS5 game, but from what it was, this is a massive step up. And to think if you've already got the game, this is a free update. Last of Us Part 1, free update. As well as improved textures, environments, character models, enemy models, there's much more variety of NPCs that have been added, especially in cutscenes. Of course, we have the choice for fidelity mode 30 FPS and performance 60 FPS, which 60 FPS looks and feels incredible. There are much denser cities, especially in Novigrad, improved lighting, and also the camera angle has been changed for Geralt, which looks so much better and looks like modern day third-person games. But this can also be changed in the settings if you wanted to go back to that directly behind the view mode, which I don't think it looks good. Throughout most of my 40 hours so far, I haven't had any major problems with performance. There's been a few minor issues, which we're gonna get to.
I like this, Geralt.
Well, if you want, I can make you feel like a real woman.
I think we can come to an arrangement.
But, excuse me, I just let you in and we are together. Who does he think he is?
For now.
Let me just say that I really love my horse Roach, but every time I whistle, oh my god, he does not listen. It's like I whistle And he just stands about 5 minutes down the road. I'll have to meet him halfway. Sometimes there's a few funny glitches with Roach, which I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Something up there?
Some corpse eater?
Wait a minute, what the hell?
So I find them more amusing more than anything. They're just so funny. Every time I finished a mission or a task or a new objective, for some reason there was this really annoying stutter. And I can't even remember this on the previous gen, but it's just this weird little stutter that happens every time a new objective takes place. When I was on my horse riding through these cities, walking through these cities with these NPCs, it looked beautiful, it ran beautiful. It didn't feel bloated traveling with Roach across these cities. I loved riding on my horse and exploring. In these cities with all these NPCs, there was no frame rate drops. It was smooth 60 FPS.
Happiness will come today.
When I'm walking with Siri or walking with another character, you get from time to time them just walking through flipping NPCs, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. Fast travel and loading screens were so much quicker. The map was updated, as you can now filter your map in case you are looking for something in particular, which is a great improvement because sometimes that map can get a little bit overwhelming, but it's so good that you can now circulate it, so in case you want to look for a blacksmith. Everything was as smooth as my hairline.
Damn!
That escalated quickly.
For a 7-year-old game, I really enjoyed the combat. I thought it would feel outdated, but I found it better than Valhalla. How is that even possible? The combat is solid once you get used to it, and it can get complicated because you also have some magic abilities called signs which you will need to use. You have your block button, which for some reason sometimes works on certain enemies, which I couldn't really totally figure out. You have your dodge attack, your roll, and when you have time, your block button, you will then parry your enemies when you time it properly. And after that, it will stagger your enemies and you can use a light and heavy attack and take them out. Some of these death animations are brutal. Geralt is brutal. Being a Witcher, you also have signs, which are your magical abilities, which is great about the next gen upgrade. You can quickly bring up your sign wheel and change it so it doesn't take you out of the immersiveness, especially during battle. You have your Igni, which is your fire ability, which I use the absolute most because especially with enemies that are weak with fire, it staggers them and deals damage and gives you enough time to focus. You have your Quen, which is so useful, and I probably underutilized it near the start of the game, but it gives you a protective shield for a period of time until your enemy hits you. But believe you and me, it can make a difference. You have the Ard sign, which is a great enough spell, which is a strong telekinetic blast that can stumble enemies, create openings in battles, and even used for missions when you need to blast through a wall. You have the Yrden sign, which again, certain enemies that are weak against magic, it is essential you use this, as this will create a circular arena, which will then cause more damage to those Spectre enemies, for example, Night Wraiths, and a few others, which we will come to. The last one you have is the Axii sign, which excels much more outside of battle, but can still be effective in battle as it can manipulate people and enemies to become more suggestive, which is so important in missions. Instead of bribing some NPCs, which is required, and you have to pay like 200 crowns, instead of paying that money, you can bribe them instead and make them suggestive. And you're like, ooh, I just saved them some coin. At first, the combat can be quite overwhelming because you're trying to use these signs, you're trying to understand them, you've got this wheel of magic. But when you do get used to it, it is so smooth, it is so much fun. And when you just start parrying, you start blocking, rolling, it is so much fun. I really love the combat in this game. Once it pays off, you will reap the benefits. Like this. You do not like Geralt.
Can't stand you, Anton.
With all these signs, they can be upgraded, which you will see on your character screen. At first glimpse, it can be very confusing, but you can essentially sign skills from different categories onto Geralt. You can combine up to 3 skills onto one tree, and then you can attach a mutagen to those 3 skills, which will then give you a boost. For example, as you can see, I've assigned a red mutagen on my combat tree, which is combining them, gave me an additional 20% attack power. Just like my alchemy, I then combined 3 skills from there, which gave me an additional 200 vitality. As I upgrade the same skills, I will then be able to to attach the new skills, which will be much more powerful as I improve Geralt. This is what I've established from this, because it can be confusing, so there's probably someone out there that knows a lot more than me, so make sure you comment that below and correct me. As you level up and complete tasks, especially treasure hunts, you will then unlock diagrams for certain armor and weapons. If you have the right materials, you can find a craftsman to then build that armor set for you. You will uncover new armor weapons throughout the game, and as you level up, you will find better swords. You have 2 swords for one human and for monsters, and with your weapons, you can attach rune stones to increase certain aspects of your weapons, like 3% chance to poison enemies, increased chance of staggering them, or a chance to burn, etc, etc. Attach these to your weapons and you will get a nice buffed up weapon, but if you're to take those rune stones onto a new weapon, you have to find a blacksmith to dismantle that weapon entirely. You also get range weapons such as a crossbow, which I didn't use too much. They became much more useful when I was fighting enemies that were flying, or when you're underwater and you can't use your weapons, but you can use your crossbow. What else is so important when you are fighting a variety of enemies and monsters? It's so important that you combine the right oil to your sword. This will give you additional points and attack points for those monsters and will become a lot easier. So it's important that you craft these oils and use them. And if you're thinking, Love Gaming Neutro, how do you know all this? It's because
All you need to do is make sure you head over to the Bestiaria, and it will tell you every monster I have fought and what its weakness is. Believe me, it's important to know these things.
yes, thank you, Geralt. It's my video. Thank you very much. Twat.
Do you want to be single?
Let's just calm down, okay, cool.
All the monsters you fight, make sure you do check out your Bestiaria, because this is so essential. You will have every monster you have met and it will tell you exactly what it's weak to. And when you find out what it's weak to, you can either use that specific oil or that specific sign, and make sure you use that to kill them. You will also get potions to have during combat, which will increase your health, regeneration, increased attack power. So if you are in need, make sure you take them and assign them to your pouch, where you can then have easy access to them. As you use certain potions, it will increase your toxicity levels, which it will eventually come down as you come out of battle, which is not a problem. Moving on.
I needed your attention.
You just broke my favorite. Do you really need the music on? You can support the channel with Buy Me a Coffee and Geralt if you want. If not, you can hit a super thanks, which is a lot easier as it's on YouTube. Or you can join our memberships, because our live streams are starting probably next week. And just want to say shout out to Deadly Feet, because he bought me a coffee. Still haven't forgiven you for spoiling The Last of Us. Yeah, I might have accidentally done that, which I apologize. Since I haven't played any of the other Witcher games, I was concerned that I wouldn't have that relationship and that emotional attachment to some of these characters. Oh my gosh, I grew to love some of these characters. They were amazing. I did not think I would get as attached to this game and some of the characters than I thought I would. Just to name a few, Vesemir, the old school sort of uncle who would always dish out the best advice, man, and I love him. He's the oldest living member of the Wolf School and probably the oldest Witcher. He basically taught Geralt everything he knows. We have Yen, our love interest, and damn, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing we get to choose our love interests throughout the game. Let's just say everyone thinks we are whipped with Yen, that she runs a relationship, and yeah, she pretty much does. We have Trish, another sorcerer who we also have a romance with, and damn, it was hard to choose from 2 of these sorcerers. Stop it, Marigold. We meet some other amazing characters like the Bloody Baron. He's such a funny guy, probably not meant to be, but his heart is in the right place. But you work with some of these characters to progress the story and do additional missions. We have characters like Priscilla, who is a singer and an actress. Oh my gosh, when she started singing, the music is amazing and her singing is incredible.
My dream come the morning, your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet, to dream of raven locks and twisted stormy.
We meet other witches such as Lambert, Letho, Eskel, which at one point in the game you can drink with them instead of going to bed, and it is just amazing. Of course, we have Dandelion, your trusty friend, who is a cocky guy, but he's funny, and obviously you have Ciri as well. I love Geralt and Ciri's relationship. You can tell how much he loves her like a daughter. I loved it so much at some point in the game, it gets quite upsetting. They just start having snowball fights, and it just brings everyone in a good mood. There are so many other characters in the game, but you can check out the Bestiaria, and it will tell you a full in-depth bio video about that character. In this game, you have main quests, secondary missions, Witcher contracts, treasure hunts, and they each have a number on them, so it's basically a suggested level you should be on. The side content, the Witcher contracts, they do not feel like they've just been rushed and dumped into the game. I had so much fun with the Witcher contracts, the treasure hunts, the secondary quests, just as much as the main missions. I was so impressed with every little side mission in this game, and that is why I love this game so much. The attention to detail on all the additional content. You see that, Valhalla? Deliver a letter to here, to here. No, why would I do that? When I say I deviated for hours from the main story to take part in fist fights and become the champion and earn some coin, take part in horse races, which was so much fun. Look for different gear, and of course kill a load of different monsters. It might feel slow at the start of the game when you're trying to find your way, but when I say shit goes down in this game, it does. The music in this game, I love the music of God of War, Ragnarok, Ghost of Tsushima. The best music I've heard is from The Witcher 3. I've never been so addicted to the music. And I've been going to the gym and putting on the soundtrack whilst I'm training. I want to be like Geralt.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
During battle, you have the high tempo music, and it is epic.
They're coming in through the gaps!
Time iridium bombs. You'll find more in the crates by the walls.
The emotion this music brings in this game is amazing, and there's no wonder it has won so many awards. The Witcher 3 with that PS5 upgrade takes this game to another level. Even more so because it is free for anyone who has got the game. It brings this 7-year-old game to modern consoles, and if you love single player games like Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, then you will love this game. There is hours upon hours of content, of main missions, side missions, so much to experience in this world, from finding different armor sets, weapons, and you get to fight some insane monsters in the game, which is unbelievable. You get to be like a detective with your Witcher senses, so you can find out what's going on, and honestly, you feel like a Witcher. Yes, there are some annoying little glitches and bugs which were pretty much funny, but it didn't take anything away from the game. I've literally just completed the game, and I'm probably going to go back to it and do the additional content because there is so much more stuff to do, especially with the DLC. And it is a beautiful, beautiful game, and that is why I have to give it a 9 out of 10 because of the bugs and the glitches. What do you think about my thoughts of The Witcher 3? Have you played the game? Be sure to let me know what you thought or what you think of the game. Comment below and let me know. Well, let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video, 10 things you need to know about Hogwarts Legacy. Shout out to Tequila Wolf. The hype is real. I gotta choose Slytherin to be as evil as possible. I pre-ordered the digital deluxe edition February 7th. Can't come soon enough. I totally get you. I am super excited for that game. I've just bought Dead Space as of yesterday when I've recorded this video, which I need to complete by Friday when Hogwarts Legacy drops. I did the sorting hat online and it chose Hufflepuff for me. So now I'm thinking, do I choose Hufflepuff or should I just go with Gryffindor? Well, now that this video's done, you can leave right now. Yeah, you can leave. Wait, who did that? Was that you? With ease and with a large amount in. Let me just say, I really like my horse Roach. Let me just say, I think the music as well was a massive part because I loved that music. If you have your right oil, that is. All right, now do it again and be like, I like this girl.
Anton, don't push your luck.
What do you think about that? What do you think of?
Oh, what? This is acting. Yeah, okay? Go.
And just look at me like, I just need a bit of reaction. What are you laughing? You always do this laughing.